Galissa. I'm 34 this year. I'm also a mom to be, and I do digital marketing and social media. Entrepreneurship can start from basically anything and from things that you enjoy and you love. So I think I got that from my parents in a sense. I went through the typical Singapore school system, and I was a normal technical student actually. And from that, after school, I wanted to go out to the workforce. And I think I started my career in hospitality and tourism. And I actually I've realized that in everything that I've done after. So I started in hospitality and tourism. I went on to PR, I did social media, and eventually in like my mid-late 20s, I had an F&B business and a cafe. And the thing that I found was my strength was people. Like I love dealing with people and like I love engaging with people. So I think I built on from that. Like I found my strength and I just built my craft in different ways, not a typical job. I saw my vision come to life and I created something from scratch, and people ended up falling in love with it, and it became part of their everyday routine and their lifestyle. So I co-founded Very Well, which was Singapore's first acai soft serve, and that was something completely new to the market, and I didn't even imagine how it would grow and how something like that could impact someone's life so in such a huge way. I think seeing customers return daily, seeing customers come back, and it's a priceless thing. I think as a business owner, like that's something that truly, to me, that's like you've achieved something. So that was really impactful. And I think like the one instance that I will never forget is that after I had left the business, I had this really random Instagram DM from someone who didn't even follow me, and I was like, who is this? And it was a pregnant woman who was just craving a like part of our past products, and I was just like, I really wish that I could help you, but I'm in no position that I could. So when I think back about it, like how hard must I have worked for someone to love that? And I think that is in itself speaks for itself, like how much I managed to accomplish in that thing, in that sense. The downfall, well, it's a very it's something that I don't think a lot of people talk about. It's quite a lonely journey. I think it can be a lonely journey for an entrepreneur. But yeah, I think in your 20s, when your friends are progressing in their careers and they're getting promotions and they're getting engaged and they're talking about, oh, we're gonna apply for a house, and you're like, I put my savings into this entire project praying that it pays off, and there's a risk that it may not, but you work so hard trying to still achieve the same thing that your friends are doing it, but in a different route, the non-traditional route. So that, I think that uncertainty is also something that a lot of people don't speak about, and it's something that is challenging as an entrepreneur or someone who wants to start their own business. So that's not something people like to mention. I think at that point in time, about to turn 30, and I'm just like, okay, I've put everything into this, and even when I put everything into it and I had nothing left, I was still trying to put in whatever I could, because I really wanted to be the founder of. I really wanted to be successful in that, and to walk away from something which essentially is your first baby in a sense. You've built this from ground up, you've put your entire life savings into it, and to walk away from that is very tough. So I battled with that, even though the answer is staring me straight in my face. I know what I have to do, but I think if you love what you're doing so much, you're going to try no matter what. So reaching that point is very tough, and it's something you don't necessarily want to come to terms with until it's really looking you straight in the face. You're like, okay, I've done my best. I can't do any more. It's not sustainable. And yeah, it's time to walk away. But it's a very tough thing to do as well.
Yeah, it's also having the courage to like admit defeat.
Yeah, it really is. And I think as much as my parents supported me and they encouraged me, I did this by myself. And I did this in hopes of making them proud, making yourself proud. So not only are you letting yourself down, you feel like you're letting the people that you love down, and you're like, it's a very tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
And also like being in that, around that age where like your friends are getting married and stuff, and you're like, how do I now get the things that I also want, which is a house and a wedding and children? I completely wiped out and I don't know what I'm gonna do to get there. But somehow you really have to pick yourself up, like find the right support and convince yourself that it's going to be okay somehow. It is not an easy, and I think it's not an easy thing, and I think because it happened just before COVID, so that also was something that, okay, now that COVID is here and I can't find a job, and what am I going to do? So that was like an additional set of stress on me. For me, I felt that my parents, even though they are entrepreneurs and in their own sort of way, I felt like they were very worried for me, like towards the end, because they could see what was happening, and you being the one in it, you don't want to admit defeat yet, but they know what's coming and they're trying to look out for you, and then you're in a position where like you want to listen but then you don't want to listen. So that, for me, I think that was a different situation. But yeah, I think I just felt it more, like I felt more that way with my friends, because I felt that I used to be this person, well, I kind of maybe still am a little this person where I feel embarrassed when people ask me, what do you do? It's something where you're like, oh, I have to go down this road and give this answer again. I felt that especially at Very Well. Now, not as much, because I feel like with experience, I kind of owned what I've gone through and whatever's happened. But I used to be this person that hated this question, like, oh, what do you do? And it's such an innocent question, but the way it affected me, I felt embarrassed, and I think that's some things that probably people who have their own business also kind of feel. There are definitely people who are very proud and stuff, but there are also people who feel that, hey, I don't want to like share this yet or something. So I guess it really depends on this.
Why do you feel that way? Or why did you feel that way?
I think at that point in time, being younger, it was my insecurity. I felt like people around my age were more successful in a sense where they have a stable income or they have a title that I can't match up to. So I think it's a very personal thing. But yeah, I think maybe not embarrassment is the right word, but it is to some degree related. You feel like you're lacking behind in a sense, even though you're working just as hard or maybe more hard, but not everyone sees it that way. On the brink of being 30, and I still remember this so vividly, I was sitting on like my best friend's couch and coming to terms with the fact, okay, I'm going to walk away from the business. You know, I still have 2 other co-founders that still want the business to run, but for me and for my mental health, I have to walk away. I just remember sitting down on this couch and just sobbing, and I'm like, I wanted to be the founder of, and I wanted this to work for me, and I wanted this to be something that I was known for. And I mean, till today, I'm still the Very Well girl. Like, I walk down Katong and Joo Chiat and I see familiar faces and they're like smiling at me, and I'm just like, wow, like that's a testament to how hard you worked and how great your business was. But it's not always, it doesn't always end the way you want to. But I think so, a full circle kind of moment, like now almost 5 years later, and then you see people and they recognize you and they come up to talk to you and like, we miss your place, and it's just at that point in time you don't see it. And then now you're like, no matter what, I still did a pretty good job. Like, people still remember and people still love it, still miss it. So that's a testament to, now looking back at it, I wish I had owned it a little bit more. So I was sitting on my best friend's couch sobbing. I'm like, how am I gonna get married? How am I gonna buy a house? Like, I lost everything, like my resources, lost a relationship, like everything. And then now I look at it back here, like I managed to rebuild myself. No idea. I didn't know I could get here. But so that failure, in a sense, kind of made me grow, and in ways I never thought possible. Like, I would have never taken opportunities, or I've never put myself out there more, because I've seen what being fearless can do for me, and not a lot of people can do that or are willing to do that. And a lot of the time I doubt myself too. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? Am I putting myself out there too much? And we live in a society where people actually judge you. It's the most common thing, and you're like, do I do this or do I not do this because I don't want to be judged? But I think when you come to terms and you own yourself, and these failures are part of your story, and these failures are part of your journey, and I don't think people can take that away from you. I think at this point it's contentment for me, like hard work, grit, humility, being able to suck it up and like own your mistakes and just embrace everything that you've been going through. That to me is success, because like I said, 5 years ago I wouldn't have thought that I would be able to have a house. Now I have a baby, let alone be married. But I needed that failure to get me here, and I needed the right support and the right mindset. And I don't think without that challenge I would be as strong as I am today. Let's be honest. And I think a part of me thinks that even though I didn't necessarily start a untraditional career path in like till my late 20s, but I think I would have probably gone a very like traditional route, and I probably would not be as happy as I am today. So, yeah, probably that.